And she also said the babysitters.
All of them were together.
All of them were together.
Did you ever ask her how she was paying the babysitter?
She told me a lot of times that, in fact, I still was under the impression Casey was working and had her own money. Casey didn't have to pay rent, didn't have to do whatever. Car was paid for and that kind of thing. The car insurance was rolled in with ours, so that was not ever an issue with money. So I never really asked those things. I really didn't. I thought she was saving money and doing things like that. Once in a while she'd ask me if she could have some money here and there. And there were some times that she had taken some money, which I confronted her on. But usually if I caught her in a lie, I could look her in the eye and I could tell she was lying.
Mm-hmm.
When I have a chance to look my daughter in the eye and actually talk to her, I usually can get a straight answer. And that's, she's not
Looking back now, knowing that she didn't have any money.
Well, again, I can't speculate. She a lot of times said Zany didn't need money, that her father had been given her money. Her father bought her a new car, and we're going to get to this car thing too. This is a very important thing. That she was doing it because she loved Kaylee and she loved to babysit Kaylee. And I don't know. Again, I can't speculate. But anyway, when they went to Hard Rock from Zany's apartment, it was Casey and the person Juliette Lewis, who was a co-worker of Casey's. Juliette Lewis has a child named Annabelle, who's supposed to be a year older than Kaylee. Zany and her roommate were supposed to be watching the two girls.
I'm going to interrupt real quick. Have you ever met Juliette?
Mm-mm.
Okay, because when she says she's a coworker, we know that's not true, but we want to figure out where they are coming from.
That is true. Juliette, one of Casey's friends that used to work with her, Heather, came to Lee a week or so ago and said that there is a person that used to work at Universal, not Universal. Again, Casey didn't work for Universal.
Right.
She subcontracted through. That was an IT person, just like this Jeffrey Hopkins is, that had a son, okay, that was introduced them to. And she knew the name Juliette Lewis and she knew the name Jeff. Okay, so there is some truth to that part of it. Anyway, Zany and her roommate were at the Hard Rock. Well, Casey and this Juliette this is what Casey's story was.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously I know it's a lie because Casey wasn't there, because she was looking for Kaylee or whatever she was doing, she wasn't there. Maybe we could look at Hard Rock register the hotel and see if there's anybody. Amy's been registered there, Ricardo, my daughter, or whoever. Right. I have not spoken with the Orange County Sheriff, so I know no one's looked at Hard Rock yet, because I didn't put two and two together. But anyway, Casey and Juliette were supposed to be in meetings all day, and Zany and her roommate, and I was under the assumption that the name was Jennifer, but the person that had a tie with Universal was able to get the kids into Universal and take them to different things, and they were hanging out in the parks during the day. And Casey and Juliette were checking on the girls periodically. They moved the conference from there to Tampa Busch Gardens. Casey said that they were working on some of the event planning between Universal, tying in with Universal things and Busch Garden things and SeaWorld things. So they went over to that weekend, which was the 18th, 19th, and 20th. 18th, I think, was a Friday, if I can remember correctly. If the 16th was a Wednesday, then the 18th would have been a Friday. Went over to Busch Gardens. I'm not sure what that has to do with Busch Gardens per se, but on their way home from Busch Gardens, Casey said that she and Juliette, with the two girls in the white Pontiac, Casey's car, was following Zany and her roommate, and they got into an accident and Zany's car got totaled. Well, I know...
Who had Kaylee at that point?
Casey and Kaylee and Juliette and Annabelle were in Casey's car. Okay. And they did not get in an accident, but Casey said that Zany had gone to an accident and totaled the car. Now, I'm not sure if the clue was the car was totaled and someone got a new car. Talking to Amy from the airport, Amy told me and again, I wasn't thinking about her, Zanny, any connection with Amy, told me she'd just gotten a new car, that her dad had bought her a new car. She had to go up to Jacksonville.
Amy had just gotten a new car.
Yes, and
Okay.
she had to go to Jacksonville. Casey was supposed to take her to Jacksonville to pick up the car, and Casey bailed on her one day and wouldn't take her. So she had to call someone else and to take her, and I think she actually had to rent a car to get herself to Jacksonville to pick up her new car that her father had bought her. This is key because Casey had told me that when Zanny had totaled her car in the accident, that her father had bought her a new car. And she told us that it was a Ford Focus, a 2008 silver Ford Focus. I don't know what Amy drives. I have no idea. I never saw Amy's car. But I think it's very pertinent. If Casey is indeed giving me clues to what's going on, and she's trying to lead us to these people so that we can find and realize who it is so that we can watch them and maybe catch them where we're going to catch them off guard and get Casey home, or Kaylee home safely to us. It's all kind of makes sense. You see where I'm going with this? Casey said that Zanny's car had been totaled and that her father had bought her a car. Amy, in her own words, told me that her car had been totaled. The dates, I don't know if they match up, and it could have just been something that Casey was throwing out there. Could have happened a month ago, but Casey was telling me
It happened on the way back from Tampa.
Zanny's car had been totaled, Mom, and her father, a few days later, she said her dad had, was buying her a new car. Because her dad had money and said that, he would take care of it and get her a new car. So I think that's kind of something, and I didn't even put that connection together, like I said, until last night, with the car accident and the new car thing and who gave it. Amy said her dad got her a new car. The other connection was that Amy herself told me that Casey was supposed to take her to Jacksonville to pick up the car. That's the Jacksonville connection. Not until...
Shows Kaylee being in danger.
Right, not yet. We're not all the way there yet.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm still listening then.
I know you are. I know you
And
are.
I'll listen all day long.
I know you are.
There's,
Again, I never thought,
no pressure, Cindy.
I know, and I never, when first meeting Amy, and until this morning, never even thought suspect. Never even thought suspect. But now looking back over things, it just doesn't add up, some of the things that are going on.
Let me ask you real quick. In the end, are you going to say that she's Zanny?
I'm not sure, but I'm getting close to that
Okay.
conclusion.
All right.
I'm getting close to that conclusion, that could be Zanny.
Okay.
I haven't said it yet, I don't know, and I don't want to falsely accuse anybody of anything. But all I'm saying is that there's a big possibility that could be Zanny.
Okay.
And I didn't even put the last name into it when you said that, so I hadn't even thought about that. When you said where you could get Zanny under I didn't even pronounce her name that way. So, I mean, you thought of something that I didn't even think of. And again, I'm not trying to paint it that way, but I mean, think about how the media is painting it Casey's way. We have to look at another possibility out there, because if Kaylee's alive, we got to find her, and that's my focus. And I know that's what you guys want to do as well. Where am I at now?
New car.
New car. Again, don't know the make of hers. And Casey may have picked any random car. I'm not sure if that's the clue or not. That the 2008 silver Ford Focus is actually what she's driving or someone else is driving. I don't know if the actual car or the fact that it was the car accident and her father was the one is actually the clue that Casey's trying to give to us. Okay?
I'm sorry.
All right. Amy again does say that she works at Universal Studios, so that is truth about if she is Zanny, that there's that Universal connection. The other thing is Casey describes Zanny's roommate, and I don't know if she's just giving me clues out there about Zanny or her roommate as a tall blonde person. Amy's tall. I mean, I'm not that tall, I'm 5'4", but she's taller than me. She's at least 5'7".
Mm-hmm.
And Casey stated that Zanny's 5'6" to 5'7", only with dark hair. So, but again, if she's trying to appease this person and saying, I'm not going to rat you out, and giving enough throwing off, she's still doing what this person wants her to do, is lay low, chill out, you're learning your lesson, and I'll get to all of this in a minute. So again, the blonde, I think, it might be a clue as well.
Okay.
I don't know what Jennifer has to do with it, the name Jennifer. I don't know if there's any truth to that. I don't know if Amy has a sister Jennifer.